Africa Enlightenment Center, Religious, Political, and Social Enlightenment. Hello, welcome to Africa Enlightenment Center once again. Listen to this. He that writes your story controls your history and the narrative surrounding you. Europe wrote most of Africa's history, and as a result, most of the things that they did, most of the atrocities, were not documented for anybody to read. So they went silent on their atrocities. It is time for Africans to rise and write their own history. Listen to Ashley the Baroness as she talks about what happened in Namibia with the Germans before Hitler's atrocities.
So I saw someone say, why don't they ever teach African history in our schools? And I had to pause because it's not that they can't teach it. It's that they don't want to, especially when it makes Europe look like the monster that it really was. So let me put you onto something you probably didn't learn in school. Germany's first genocide didn't happen in Europe. It happened in Africa. The year was 1904. Germany had colonized what we now call Namibia. And when the Herero and Nama people resisted, not violently, just refused to be erased, Germany responded with brutality that'll make your stomach churn. They poisoned wells. They pushed entire communities into the desert and cut off their access to food and water. They built death camps. They chained people up, used them for forced labor and medical experiments, even beheaded them and shipped their skulls back to Berlin, all in the name of research. Not as evidence of war crimes, but trophies. Sound familiar? Because it should. Germany tested their genocidal playbook on African soil before the Holocaust, and then they exported that same cold, calculated violence to Europe decades later. But nobody talks about that, likely because Black pain isn't considered historic. It's considered disposable. And don't let anybody tell you this was a long time ago. Germany didn't even acknowledge what had happened until 2021. And their apology came with no real reparation, just a PR stunt and a press release. They still haven't returned all the stolen bones. They haven't paid back the families that lost generation. They still haven't put this genocide in German textbooks. And the US, silent. Because when the West says never again, they really mean never again to white people. But when you ask why African history isn't taught, they can't teach you the truth without admitting that they're still protecting the people that committed the crimes. Germany practiced genocide in Africa. They perfected it, then pretended like it started in Europe. We're not supposed to remember, we're supposed to move on. But memory is resistance. And I'm here to say their silence doesn't protect them anymore. We remember everything. And the ancestors, they haven't forgotten either.